it's pretty amazing, right? So, and I mean, I think those support groups are still how most people connect to NOMV, right? That's how most people know us, but it is so far from all we do now. In 2017, on my kitchen table, we became a 501c3 because we wanted to start a grant program. I'm really proud to say that our grant program gave out over $200,000 in grants to veterinary professionals last year. Suicide prevention is not just having a hard conversation in a hard moment, right? Sometimes suicide prevention is fixing somebody's car so they can get their kids to school and get to work the next day. And I think that program was the start of NOMV becoming so much more. Gosh, and I think about all the programs we have now. I'm embarrassed to say that I'm definitely going to forget at least one of them. But we now have other peer resources. We have Lifeboat, which is an anonymous peer-to-peer support program backed up by mental health professionals. We also have new resources. You know, grants is still going strong, but recently, with the help of Merck, we started Clear Blueprint, which is a practice well-being program where we can help practices targetedly identify what's happening in their workplaces and build happier, healthier places for us all to follow our calling. And gosh, so many more. We have an education program. We have a student group. We have just program after program. I'm particularly proud. We just published our first peer-reviewed paper on intersectionality and well-being. And I'm so proud of our research programs because I think, like most of you, I'm a scientist, right? And I believe that knowledge is power. And I believe by understanding these problems, we empower ourselves, you, our community, to solving what's going wrong. And you know, when I think about all those programs, I just have to take a moment and recognize the NOMV staff, because there is no way that we would be able to do any of those programs without them. So staff members, I'm going to embarrass you. Please stand up. Darlene, you too. And I would be remiss not to mention one of them in particular. For the first 6 years, NOMV was run and operated by the board members. I'm sure it will surprise all of you that a group of veterinarians had incredibly poor boundaries, a tendency for overwork, and a really stubborn opinion that no one could do it better than them, right? Does that sound familiar to anyone? Mm-hmm. And I just right? And that's just not the way. So we finally got to the breaking point and admitted maybe, just maybe, we needed a little bit of help. And so we put out an ad for a very part-time executive director. And I clearly did something right in a past life because the universe brought us Darlene. I think you knew you had your work cut out for you during your interview when you asked us what the budget was and we all stared at you like you were speaking a foreign language. Veterinarians are not good with money. And we didn't really have any structure at all. We were 5 veterinarians who had board meetings by arguing on Facebook, right? So we had a long way to go. And for some reason, Darlene still took that job. And thank God she did. We onboarded her in June of 2020. You might recall the world was going through a little hiccup the summer of 2020. And much like the fire hose of demand that was hitting all of veterinary medicine, the need for NOMV services went up astronomically. And in the face of all that, Darlene took the reins, got us organized, and grew this organization into what it is today. I'm very proud to say that we now do, in fact, have a budget. We spent all day looking at it. And so many more things, and Darlene is the reason for that. It's allowed us to help thousands, if not tens of thousands of more people. And I am deeply grateful that she has laid the groundwork for everything we're going to accomplish for years to come. And so you know, you can imagine how I felt when she called me and told me she was leaving, right? I'm very proud of myself that I did not vomit. It was really close. But in that moment, I recalled a passage from a book that said, if you truly care about the growth of the people you work with, you will support that growth even if it takes them away from you. And after a reasonable amount of begging and pleading, I accepted her resignation. But what a legacy she has left behind. Those are some very big shoes to fill, ma'am. Very big. And while I'll miss her in her role as our executive director, she is actually still with NOMV. She is on 2, 3 committees. Yeah, great. So really, what choice she's made is just to no longer get paid to work with NOMV, which is a really odd choice, but I'm grateful regardless. I'll take what I can get. And I'll miss you in your role as an executive director, but I still get to keep you as a friend. So, Darlene, we have things for you. Come on up here. Bennett can come too. No one's crying. It's fine. So this is just, we all wrote you notes. And
oh my God.
Thank you. I'm not going to make you give a speech unless you want to.
Thank you, everybody. And also just look at Bennett.
All right. Wow. Now that we have that out of the way, I want to turn the floor over to Bri to present some awards. So, ma'am, the mic is yours.
Okay, amazing. I'm super excited to introduce my Vanna White of the evening, if you will. Last year's NOMV Board Member of the Year, Dr. Taylor Miller, has agreed to do this tonight. Your envelopes are there, Vanna. Okay, amazing. And I have a PowerPoint. I also recognize my computer might die before we finish. So it's had a day, and we hope it makes it through this. Let's present. Okay, amazing. So this is our third round of awards. I think Carrie did a fantastic job of just sharing how wonderful and amazing all of the different programs are with NOMV, and I'm super excited to highlight the ones that were nominated for all of the different awards that we have this year. So first up, we have our Rising Volunteer of the Year. We have lots of really wonderful and qualified nominations. I'm going to let Taylor announce our winners. Oh, hold on. I forgot to do a thing. This might make my computer die faster, but we'll try. Okay. How do I, it's for the people at home. How do I enter it again? Go to webinar. Okay, got it. All right. Yep. Okay, perfect. And screen share. So for the people back home, apologize if my screen dies. Okay.
Yeah, just 100%.
Okay. So if you can minimize that. Okay, perfect. Let's talk for Ashley's space. Okay, I'm super excited that we have a lot of our nominees here tonight. And after Taylor announces our winner, I will share a little bit more about that person. So, the winner of the Rising Volunteer of the Year award goes to
Dimitri Lesko.
So a little bit about Dimitri is that he is our first, but also certainly our most highly involved international volunteer that we have. So he's not with us tonight. He's trying really hard to be with us, but unfortunately it tests. I know it's like time. But he is actually over in Greece. So that is where he is, and he is with us in spirit. He's a member of our education committee, helps us out with our chapters, and he's been all around joy and pleasure to work with. And Taylor and I both have the pleasure of working with him all the time. So congratulations, Dimitri, and hopefully you're not watching this because it's really late. I don't know. There we go. Okay. Next up, we have our established volunteer of the year. So this is our more seasoned volunteer. They've been with us for a little bit longer. Taylor.
And our established volunteer of the year is Deborah Hamilton.
Woo! All right, Kelsey is going to get you your lovely award. It's the second one. Yep. Perfect. Amazing. So Deborah's here with us tonight for those of you that are seeing this live. Deborah has been amazing. She's one of our lovely volunteers with our Clear Blueprint program back before it was even called Clear Blueprint. She is an amazing lawyer who lends her skills to everything that we do here at NOMV, and we're so glad that she's here with us tonight. This is our first time meeting her in person, so it's been really lovely to have her join us, and very well deserved, Deborah. We love you. Okay, next up, we have our Student Ambassador of the Year. So this is one of our current student representatives, and they are helping us while they're in school. We have some students in the house. You guys know how hard that is. We have people who were students in the house. You know how hard that is, and they still choose to show up for us. So would you like to do the honors?
I would. Our Student Ambassador of the Year is Whaley Downey.
Woo! So much like Dimitri. Whaley isn't with us tonight because she's busy studying for school in Australia. They didn't give her, a full ticket and all of that stuff to just fly over here real quick, accept her award and go back. But she has been a fantastic addition to our Student Support and Mentorship Committee. And she is super excited about making sure that we're not only touching the lives of students here in the United States, but also internationally. And so she's really kind of leading the charge for that. So very well-deserved, Whaley, and we wish you were here, but we are so happy that you are with us in spirit. Okay, amazing. So next up is our Chair of the Year. So these volunteers choose to go above and beyond and help hold a leadership role within one of our lovely programs and serve as a co-chair. So
I am particularly pleased to announce that Dr. Shannon Emmons is our co-chair of the year.
And here she comes, Miss America, right? So Shannon is amazing and here with us tonight. She is co-chair of the Education Committee. She likes to call the NOMV Ambassador Program her baby. She was like, I would really like to have some local support. And so she reached out to her friend, who's also here, Dr. Tasha Wilson, there she is, and was like, I wonder if we can bring NOMV to our area. So she reached out to Carrie and was like, I want to do this thing. And Carrie was like, great, we're already trying to do that, go here. And I was so grateful that she did that because I've gotten to be really good friends with Shannon ever since. And then Shannon has just run with all of the things with the Education Committee alongside her lovely co-chair Taylor. And we have done so many things this year, of which I'm not going to rattle all of them off, but Shannon has been an instrumental part of all of that. So congratulations, Shannon. Okay, next up we have our Committee of the Year. So we have lots and lots of committees. Despite being the director of programs for the organization, I too most of the time can't say all of the programs off the top of my head. But the Education and Advocates Committee, they have done amazing, fantastic things in this past year in particular, and so they were nominated for this award. And
the Education Committee wins the day.
So Shannon, if you'd like to come back up, Education. She wants to. Are you gonna trip?
You want to?
I'm gonna trip.
Okay.
Okay.
For
All right.
safety reasons, we will accept it, Shannon. So you've already got to hear a little bit about the education committee, and in particular, everybody's worried that I'm gonna go over on time. So I'm pleased to say, ditto. Okay, next up, we have chapter of the year. So our local chapters, like I said, Shannon's baby. They are local communities that choose to kind of get together and say, hey, I want to, do more about NOMV and I want to work with my local community. So our two nominees for this particular category are NOMV Great Lakes, which serves the Great Lakes region. We learned the hard way that they're not allowed to be called NOMV Midwest. I guess that's a particular thing for them. And then our other is NOMV New England, which is in particular Shannon's specific baby. So
NOMV Great Lakes wins the day.
if only there was a member of NOMV Great Lakes at the first table that I'm staring at and she knows it, who could get up and receive the award. Woo! So Eden is representing NOMV Great Lakes today. She is our newest staff member, and she turned staff from serving on the NOMV Great Lakes chapter. She wrote in the nomination that the fact that she is here today is proof of why the chapters work. She had a really tough go for a little bit there, and we're so excited that she's now part of the NOMV staff and is going to continue to serve NOMV Great Lakes in a whole new way. And all of the other chapters that we have forming. So they're really lucky to have her, and we're really lucky to have her. So thank you. Okay, next up we have event of the year. They're all as self-descriptive as is possible for a photo, with the exception of the one that is the thank you. Our lovely friends over at MVMC, they are representing our anti-cyber harassment task force of the year. We have our well-being in the LGBTQ plus veterinary community, our trauma webinar series, and our, shoot, now I forgot what it's called. What is our fundraiser that we did earlier this year? What do we call it? Carathon. There we go. So our Carathon, where we thanked veterinary professionals and received donations from pet parents.
It gives me particular pleasure to announce that the Anti-Cyber Harassment Crisis Folder is our event of the year.
And we have quite a few anti-cyber harassment. If you all want to come up, please do. Shannon, Augusta. Amazing. All right. I think that might be everybody that's here at this moment. If not, please join. But our anti-cyber harassment crisis folder is something that we now have published onto our website that the lovely folks that you just saw, in addition to several others, you guys look great, that is now published on our website. And basically, we learned the very hard way. A lot of the folks over there at our rare breed table, they own MVMC, and they had a really difficult cyber harassment case about 1.5 years ago at this point, which is wild. Time is weird. And they were like, okay, let's make some lemonade out of these lemons and make sure that if anybody else has to go through this experience, they actually have resources and they're not kind of just trying to tread water and kind of keep everything above as much as they can. And so I'm really grateful that now on our website, if you go to the anti-cyber harassment crisis folder, you can download those resources, and anybody at any veterinary clinic can hopefully prepare for an attack. Hope nobody ever has to go through it, but in the event that you do, you're not alone. And people that have been there and had a really, really tough go with it are the ones that went ahead and helped to create these materials. So very proud of that. So congratulations. Okay, amazing. This one I didn't have pictures for, but they did great things and I still love them just as much. So these, my folks over here that represent these various things, this is not a lack of love. But our next award is our chapter event of the year, which is awarded to one of our chapters for a local event that they put on in their community.
And NOMV Texas wins with their Renew Wellness event. Woo!
amazing. And Mallory basically cleaned house last year with the chapter, so no surprise to see her back again this year. Amazing. Okay, so the Renew Wellness event by NOMV Texas, Mallory went, a little bit out of her way because Texas is big, and she went to a different portion of the state and hosted an event with one of our sponsors, and she just was absolutely amazing. And immediately after, / maybe just before, we got these lovely photos of her doing a presentation, and now she's one of our lovely NOMV Speakers Bureau members. And she was able to kind of get really into the community and host a local event where they could do some self-care, well-being activities, as well as go ahead and do a little CE presented by yours truly. So congratulations to the NOMV Texans in the house on your Renew Wellness event of the year. Okay, next up, Taylor is unfortunately ineligible to play Vanna for this one, so we have a special guest coming up. So Dr. Christine Mullins happens to be here with Siva, and she is the person that happened to sponsor both of these talks. So I was like, would you like to announce it, because it would be awkward for Taylor to open an award that she might win. So in the interest of all of that, Christine, would you please do the honors and play Vanna for a moment?
I would love to.
Thank you.
And the winner is Dr. Taylor Miller.
Thank you, Dr. Christine. As you guys can imagine, that would have been really awkward, so we avoided that. But Dr. Miller happens to do a presentation as part of our PTSD and trauma webinar series. It was 3 presentations, and it was so well received, so needed at the time. And her presentation was the overlap of personal and professional trauma in veterinary medicine. If you haven't seen it yet, nomv.org/webinars. You're going to see her face, you're going to hear her recording, and you're going to just be like, I can see why this one won. It was very, very excellent. So thank you, Taylor. Okay, another one I don't have pictures for, but still have very much a lot of love for. We had 2 different groups that were kind of nominated for this outside fundraiser, but basically they're not necessarily directly affiliated with volunteering with NOMV or anything like that. They just reached out and they say, hey, I'd like to do a fundraiser for you. And we call those outside fundraisers, and they help us do all of the things that Carrie was saying, like give away $200,000 or something. So we are super appreciative of both of these folks, and the winner is
Bianca and Tim.
Woo. So as I mentioned, my computer may die, so I didn't have time to get kind of all of the things here, but the one thing I didn't get to look up is exactly when they did their fundraiser. But earlier this year, they actually took on a challenge called Everesting. I don't know if anybody has heard of it or participated in it, but basically on behalf of NOMV, they used like a machine at their gym to walk the equivalent height of Mount Everest to raise money for NOMV. So they raised just about $10,000 in their Mount Everest back home for them adventure. And that just seems like such an activity. I wish if they're here, please do acknowledge yourselves. But tomorrow we have a 5K, so I really hope that they're on my team. All right, so congratulations to Bianca and Tim. Thank you. Okay, next up we have our Partner of the Year. So this is a fellow nonprofit organization that aligns with our mission, and we partner on various projects and initiatives. I'm very excited that both the International Association of Veterinary Social Work and Pride VMC were nominated for this year.
Yes, and Pride VMC, thank you very much.
Woo! Is there a board member from Pride VMC that would like to accept this award? I don't know where Erica went. Do you want to accept the award, Erica? Amazing. So Pride VMC, they had partnered with us on one of those lecture series that we talked about, but Dr. Erica Lynn Hendel happened to help co-author the Gender Identity Bill of Rights, which NOMV has overwhelmingly and enthusiastically signed. And we know that in order to be mentally healthy, you have to be accepted and acknowledged and recognized at your place of work. And so if you haven't signed it yet, you can sign as a person, you can sign as an organization. I strongly would encourage you to do those things, but we're just really grateful for all the different opportunities we have to partner with Pride BMC. Okay, next up we have our sponsor of the year. And as you can see, we have a lot of really engaged and lovely sponsors. We're so excited to have a good number of folks in the house from all of them. Would you like to do the honors?
Yes. And thank you to everyone on this list, but Cubex wins the day today.
Alrighty. And we're super excited to have you guys in the house. Cubex has been one of our long-term sponsors, perhaps one of the first, certainly one of the first major. And their machines are super helpful for veterinary professionals to ensure that they're kind of regulating medication and ensuring that people aren't taking some for improper usage. We're super excited for our partnership, and if you guys haven't seen it yet, Cubex also sponsored our first ever PSA. It's on the NOMV homepage, and it highlights as many of our programs as we could possibly fit in, I want to say 90 seconds, which is very difficult, and I'm super impressed with kind of the output that you guys came up with. So thank you so much to Cubex and all of our sponsors. Okie dokie. So our final award for the night, we have a board member of the year. And so this person has gone above and beyond their service of duty. They meet with us monthly, which, you know, we really appreciate as staff because we need them in order to keep the organization moving forward. But it's a huge, huge lift. And we know that that takes a lot of energy and effort out of their day-to-day lives. So I'm super excited that both Dr. Carrie Jurney, who you guys met just a little bit ago, as well as Dr. Brian Borquin, are both in the house tonight as part of our annual board meeting that happens alongside our lovely gala and fun programming. We also have some work to do. So they've been hard at work all day. Whoever wins is very deserving of the award. So as outgoing board member of the year, would you like to bestow?
I would love to bestow this, and I'm honored to do so. If Dr. Carrie Jurney, please take the stage.
Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate everything that Carrie has done. I'm going to make you awkwardly come back because I happen to know ahead of time who wins. I kind of have to do that in order to make the awards. And this also happens to be a really significant year for Carrie because she has been with the organization basically since day two. How dare I skip a day? And you know, basically her heart and passion has beat every single moment since for the organization. And we're just super grateful. She happens to be, oh my gosh, I really wanted to keep that bread. Eden, that's my bread. Eden had one job. I was like, do not let her take the bread. Anyway, back to the scheduled program. They might be out, I don't know. So Carrie has been serving as the role of president for, I don't even know how many years at this point, but since I arrived. So it's been a minute. And we are super grateful for all the time that we spent serving as our board president. And unfortunately for us, this is the last year that she's eligible to serve in this particular role. We are
Term
not
limits are good. Term limits are good.
They are good. It's so mentally healthy, so I'm very proud. But at the same time, you know, we will miss having you at the helm of the organization. And so much like Darlene, we wanted to go ahead and recognize you and appreciate you for all of the countless hours. A standing ovation is in order. A standing ovation is in order. Stand up. Come on. Give her. Thank you. Thank you. My only goal with that, to get you to cry. We've succeeded in our mission. It's no longer to have veterinary professionals, it's to get Carrie to cry happy tears. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to all of our nominees. Thank you to every single volunteer and sponsor and supporter that is here with us tonight. We cannot do any of these programs without your ongoing support, generosity, appreciation, etc. We're excited to kind of keep going and keep doing more, and do so in a mentally healthy way where sometimes we take a step back. So thank you so much, Carrie, and thank you, everybody.
I feel slightly ambushed because now I have to give another speech, but thank you all for that. I know. It is a real honor. I mean, that was a real honor. This is also an amazing honor to introduce our speaker for the evening, Dr. Temple Grandin. I am generally not a person who is at loss for words. I'm real chatty. And I found myself a bit dumbfounded as to what in the world I could say about Dr. Grandin that you don't already know. I could tell you the normal career stuff, right? That she has a PhD in animal science from the University of Illinois. She is a prolific academic researcher with over 60 publications. She's a professor at Colorado State, and she was recently awarded an honorary DVM from Kansas State. I could speak to her advocacy for animals. I struggle to think of a person who has done more for animal welfare than Dr. Grandin, particularly speaking about livestock. I could also tell you that she was one of the first people in the world to publicly announce as an adult that she has autism. And that her bravery and advocacy, that the books that she's written, the talks that she's given, they've not only given us a window into the lives of people with autism, but she's also shown us that it's important to embrace people who think differently, that their perspective, the way their brains work, it's so vital and can be transformational. But honestly, y'all already know all that stuff. You probably wouldn't be here, right? So I'm left with a story. I was lucky enough to be present for one of the last lectures that Dr. Alexander de la Junta gave at ACVIM. If you know anything about Dr. de la Junta, he is the father of my profession, neurology, and has inspired a lot of people. It was a standing room only event with 3 overflow rooms. Dr. Denny O'Brien, who is a character in and of himself, got up on stage and said, "If you don't know who the speaker is, leave. Somebody wants your chair." Now, y'all paid for your chair, so nobody has to leave. But truly, Dr. Grandin, no introduction. And so it is an understatement to say, Dr. Grandin, we are very honored that you're here with us tonight. Indeed. So Dr. Grandin will be signing books just outside of those doors. We're going to let her get set up. And while we do that, I am going to let Darlene, who said she's collected herself, she'd like to say a few words. And Benna, if you haven't met Benna is a service dog, a real one, not a PSA shenanigans. And she is also an important friend of these. Benna and Darlene.
Benna has on her NOMV I'm sorry, I could not speak earlier. I do have some things I wanted to say. It's just very emotional. I was NOMV's first employee. I was a little, I don't know what I was thinking. I remember telling Jim I didn't know what I was thinking when I took the job. I was like, this is a little crazy, but I think I'm gonna do it. I am the startup ED. I think Brian put it best when he said that. I was completely intrigued by the idea of taking this little organization with an incredible mission that is very close to my heart, and making it into this, which is overwhelming me. It's part of why this is incredible. They had a spreadsheet, you guys. That was their budget. This was the heart was so big, and the organization was not organized. So much heart. And they said, that's why we hired you. And what this has become is something that this will always be one of the greatest things I've done with my career. I am leaving now, not because this isn't important to me, because it is. I'm on 3 committees as a volunteer, but because it's time for someone with a different set of skills to take over, and I'm pursuing a career in writing, so I'm doing something totally different. Because one of the things that I learned in NOMV was to take care of yourself and to pursue your dreams, because all these amazing veterinary professionals, that's exactly what you all have done. And I'm actually going to take what I learned and pursue my dream to be a writer. In the meantime, I am so proud of this organization and what it is and where it's going and where it's been, because where it's been is just as important as where it's going. I just wanted everybody to know how amazing it's been to be a part of this journey, and I will be around for the rest of it. So thank you so much.